Hello, everybody. It is me, Nami, and Filter. Are you here, Filter?
Yep.
Oh, and
Yep.
go ahead.
Good4Doog.
And Infiltration 10.
Infiltration 10. And we also have JT from AllAccess here with us. So, anyways, thank you all for being here and supporting us. For some of you who don't know, we created this podcast, or I've now retermed it as Podstream, because we wanted to get to know more about our fellow streamers, our followers, and even our viewers in the community. When we're streaming, it's kind of hard to get to know everyone from stream chat, so we've decided we were going to bring on two individuals each pod stream who we were interested in getting to know better. As some of you know from watching our first podcast, either it was live or through a VOD, we had announced that we're doing a fundraiser once a month for a chosen recipient to help make their life a little better and relieve some of the stress or pain they're going through. We also announced we'd be choosing a recipient once a month who cannot afford a SWTOR sub and gifting them a 60-day sub so that they can play the game without restrictions to keep the magic going. So without further ado, let me introduce our first interviewee today, and that would be JT from AllAccess. JT, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm JT. Yeah. No, it's great to be here. First, I'm going to take Podstream. I love that term right there. I'm totally taking that. I'm going to use that in another way, so thank you Nam, for that. Also, by the way, that giveaway for a subscription, that is awesome. And that is one of the things I do like about this community, about how everybody gets together in the SWTOR community. So that is a great job. So what else do you want to know about me?
Well,
Been playing a game since dirt.
No, well, I do want to know a little bit about you. I mean, for some of you guys, if we can get a shout out too for AllAccess, that would be wonderful. So some of you guys, if you're not following, please go drop him a follow. I'd like to know, how did you start? You've been playing games for a very long time, so yeah.
Well, my video game thing got started with Atari and stuff like that. So, yes, way back, this little 8-bit stuff. So, Commodore 64, VIC-20. So, yeah, way back. I'm an old man.
Aw. And so, currently, I would say, so how long have you been playing SWTOR?
Well, I got into with some of the early beta stuff, and some of the early, and been playing it ever since. Been a little less lately because of some health issues that I've been dealing with, but yeah, I've been enjoying the game. It has its ebb and flows, but I definitely enjoy the game. It's one of the games that I always go back to and have continued to play since it came out.
Yes, I remember I ran some stuff. You made a tune or something over here on Starforge, because you primarily played on Satil, and
Right.
I forgot what your tune's name was, but it was like the perfect name. Do you remember it?
Ready check.
What was it?
Ready check.
Ready Check. Oh my god, that's such a great name. Ready Check. So how did you find out about the game?
Actually, it was back. I think I want to say it was the E3 or a little bit later than that, but the October 21st, I believe, 2000 is when the doctors were announcing the original guys that started BioWare, and they were actually announcing the game, and all the robed and hooded Jedi came out. I saw that, because at first I thought the announcement was going to be for Knights of the Old Republic 3, and then when they came out and announced Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it was going to be an MMO, I lost my mind. It was amazing, and so ever since that day, I was following the game and have been following the Star Wars: The Old Republic, and got into it from very.
Nice. And so, what other games do you like to play? Is there some that you want? I mean, can you list some of your favorites?
All kinds. Of course, if anybody's been following me when I did stream, of course, my original stream was the Blaster Broadcasting Network, and I did a change for my AllAccess, a lot to do with my injury and helping people to get into video games that might have some physical limitations. But I play XCOM. I do a lot of those games, Darkest Dungeon, a lot of RPGs, like Knights of the Republic, Mass Effect, Dragon Age series, which I'm hoping to go through again. Most recent, I've been doing actually Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Loving that game. It's actually doing some stuff in with Ubisoft is doing a lot of stuff with that, a lot of RPG elements that I kind of feel that BioWare in some of their games has gone away from. So that's kind of a nice, refreshing thing. But Star Wars: Old Republic, I keep coming back and always playing that. I love that game a lot.
Yay! So do I. It's my favorite game. Now, do you have any other interests outside of gaming, or is there any other hobbies that you do?
As far as hobbies, of course, I love doing stuff on the computer. A lot of that, again, with some of my limitations. So some of the other aspects in life that I used to do, a lot of sports and stuff, has been cut off. So I now spend a lot of time with the computers. I love doing the production, directing, like with streaming and stuff. So I'm actually currently helping out some of my friends with their Harry Potter book club. Actually, it's kind of an expensive hobby trying to do a lot of the streaming and stuff, but I'm hoping to like get a soundboard and mixer and stuff like that. I really love doing that, but I'm kind of doing some of the production stuff for that book club thing, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, wow. Now that's interesting, actually. See, you need to get Akila involved in that, being the
Oh yeah,
librarian that she is.
oh that would be definitely cool.
Yeah. So you don't work or go to school, right?
Currently, I have done some school. I did some stuff with India at Indiana State University. I've also done some with DeVry and some stuff again with some health issues, and then some of my funding kind of fell by the wayside in a little of those areas. But I've done quite a bit. But currently, right now, no, none of that.
Okay. Now, I mean, speak as little or as much as you feel comfortable. Can you tell? Would you feel comfortable telling everybody about your injury?
Yeah, that's no problem. If anytime I don't like gloating about anything like that, but anybody asks me, basically, like I said, I did a lot of sports and stuff like that before my injury, basketball, football, softball, and also I got into mountain biking when I was at Ball State University. So I was working here where I live in Indiana, and I was working and actually a husband of a fellow employee. We got into doing some more mountain biking. I was kind of getting back in shape, going on some trail rides and going down a hill. Kind of lost it, flipped over, landed on my helmet, and immediately couldn't feel my legs. So basically, my sixth vertebrae kind of exploded, and kind of some of the shrapnel went into my spinal cord. So I knew pretty much immediately I wasn't knocked out or anything, but I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to walk or anything like that. But I got a free helicopter ride out of it, so I kind of like it as a bonus.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would normally say that's a silver lining, but I don't
Right?
know if that really is a silver
I know.
lining. But oh, and so how long ago was that?
That was December 11th, 1996.
Oh
It's
wow.
it's been a long time. It's actually this next year will be like the halfway point. So basically, half of my life now been in a wheelchair. So, but I look at it, I'm still alive, still kicking, and as long as I finally figured out a way of doing videos, so life is good. Life is good.
Yeah, and see that's what inspires me about you. I have a lot of well, definitely a lot of admiration for you. I did from way back when I met you, and I actually met you way at the beginning when I first started
Yeah.
streaming. You helped me and referred me over to Desi, and he just did a recent event, I think last
Yep.
weekend, and yeah, it's I don't know that just was
Well,
amazing.
you kind of inspired me because I saw what you were doing. I always look, I'm always on the lookout for fellow streamers, and I noticed like your group, you were doing a run, an operation run, and I always love that. I love seeing people that know how to do things, trying to help other people that might be having a difficult time with things. And you guys were taking time to run that operation immediately. That's why I contacted you, want to get info about your guild, want to get involved, and try to be help out or any way I can, and just get involved. I love that when people are helping like that. So I really appreciate that.
Aw, thank you. I know my partner in crime loves doing that as well, which is why we're great partners. Um, Now, I guess you're not really playing that much of Swords right now currently, right?
Yeah, currently I'm having to take a little bit of break. I've had a couple operations on my elbows, just where I don't have any trunk muscles, and so I end up, because of playing a lot of video games, I end up spending probably way too many hours in front of my computer, and so I end up getting a couple pressure sores. So my right elbow is healing up. I'm hoping to be back. It's all healed up, but I just kind of got to let some of the skin kind of, rest a little bit. So as far as like, and when I like to play Star Wars Overlord, I don't like to half-ass it. Like, so it's like I really want to go all out, and so I can't like. I have to kind of really restrict myself, where it's like, oh yeah, just open up my elbow again.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully be back. Cross my fingers. By the end of the month or the 1st of February, I should be back.
Yay.
Doing flashport runs and all that good stuff.
Nice, nice. Yeah, you'll definitely have to. We'll have to go run something with you when you
I know
get
I've got
back
to relearn
on.
the game. Somebody have to show me how to turn this game on.
Don't worry, we'll get you set up. Don't worry about it. Now, especially because you're a Bioware influencer, right? I have a
Right.
question. So, are there any changes or recommendations you'd like to see in this game?
In the game itself, by the way, I think not only are the people that are officially Bioware, I think anybody that is promoting the game, promoting this community, this great community, and being very positive, being a positive influence, is an influencer, whether you have a title or not. So anybody that's out there that is doing a positive influence for this game, promoting this game, is an influencer. So whether you have a title or not doesn't really matter. But as far as things that I recommend for the game itself, more planets. I think more planets have to be out there. I haven't been able to see the new planet. I love the artwork of the new planet. I've seen some streams with it, but it has to have the ability to explore. I think without that, it loses a lot of the vastness the game had when it originally came out, with all the planets that you could explore. I definitely think it's time new races. You got to have some new races for people to have a reason to create some new tunes and run through it again. And the one thing I know everybody is clamoring, I'd love to see new classes. Unfortunately, with the way they organize the class stories, that would be very hard unless they did like a hero class, which I would love that to come about too. I wish they could have got away with doing a hero class with This Is a Cool Night, but that didn't come about. But one thing I think they could do is add a new spec, like add another spec to like the Jedi Knight that would be more of a support class, like a almost like a paladin that could be like healing in a mid-range area, still do some damage in the melee range, but do some heals. Also like an Imperial agent that could actually be like more like a trooper. So kind of add another spec to have people like change things up, make it a little freshen up the game a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people are asking about a new class or new race, even. So, and definitely planets are always something someone wants. Now,
So what do you think about the new planet yourself?
you know what?
I haven't done.
I got to tell you, okay, so I have a lot of tunes, and I have 18
Yeah.
tunes on OSIS currently.
Wow.
Yeah, so I gotta tell you, the dailies are not bad. I mean, I've got it down when you're doing them as much as I'm doing them every week. I mean, it's like zip zip, it's like how you do CZ, right? You're just like boom boom
Yeah.
autopilot. So I'm pretty much on autopilot. So it's not bad for me. How do I feel about the gearing? I gotta be honest. Uh, as I always mention, you could put me in 258 gear, and someone in 230 gear is going to out DPS me. I mean, I'm just not, you know what I mean? I'm not that great of a player that it's going to
Yeah.
make a big difference. But obviously, I do want to get the gear because I need every bit of advantage that I can get. But I run a lot of PvP for the most part, and kind of getting back to some of the PvE. I haven't done PvE since like way in the beginning and whatnot. Um, So, since it's the new year, we're still in January. Is there anything you want to accomplish this year or that you weren't able to last year or any new goals that you see for yourself this upcoming year?
Let's see. This year, well, the first thing that definitely is to get back into the game, get back healthy. That would be number one priority for me, and get back to streaming. I miss my community. I miss everybody coming out to my streams. I usually did the late night streaming, so I really miss that. Running some flashpoints with all my friends, and of course the group that we did there in my guild log, which is what's an ops group. That was a lot of fun. It was kind of like the operation I saw you guys do, except
Hmm.
we had a little bit of drinking involved, but we try to teach when we're doing it. So it's a good time. So I'm just, yeah, I just kind of really jonesing for getting to play again.
Hmm. Now, what would you say your proudest accomplishment in this game has been?
In this game. Actually, it was last year. We said, of course, on the which I was on a couple of podcasts, Curling Run, and then I was on Passionately Casual for a while. Um, and I set a New Year's resolution for last year, and that was to heal an operation. I'm not really that good of a healer at all, but I got into a group and healed an operation. Actually, healed TOS. So, and I'm typically not a healer, so I survived that. And it was story mode, so not a big deal. And I have to give kudos out to my fellow healer that was running with me on that group. So, Azzy, if you're listening, thank you for carrying the load and allowing me to be a new healer through that. So,
Yeah, I
but
do.
that,
I
yeah,
like healing. I do like healing. But I also do like DPSing, I must admit. Now, do you do other roles? What are the roles that you
um,
normally play in the game, PvE wise?
typically DPS. Just with how I have to play the game, like to explain it, like what I have to do because I have no finger move and I just have a little bit of my arm function. So I basically slide these typing aids over my hand. So it's basically holding like a pencil in each hand and using the keyboard, using just the erasers kind of thing. So I have to kind of like think way ahead of stuff. So tanking's really hard because it's pretty demanding in this game to keep aggro and stuff like that. So I have done some tanking. I can tank some flashpoints, but really operations probably not my best. So actually DPS is where, and I've done some hard modes and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. And you're a better player than me.
Oh,
I feel really
whatever. I'd let you
bad.
play PvP.
I feel really bad now. Oh
You would
my.
own me in PvP easily.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, I'm using all 10 fingers and pretty much my arms and everything else. And I don't know. It's, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
you
this is
use
why I
fingers.
am so
You
happy.
use your fingers.
I am so happy to have you here because I've run into even some of my guild members that had, limitations. They were in a wheelchair and was the sweetest guy from in Canada, actually. And yeah, it just, oh my gosh, I have to give a lot of respect to people that do have that play this game with limitations because I know I have none. I have I have zero limitations and I still am bad. But I know you're good because if I'm not mistaken, you play a merc.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which everybody's going to say Merc is easy, so which I have
Uh
to admit it is.
have you seen my merc play? No, you haven't seen my merc play. But yes, so definitely I did not know that. See, this is why I'm glad we get to showcase some people because you get to learn a little bit more. Like I didn't know you were a Bioware influencer.
Yep.
And I didn't know that you play literally with, I guess, what is it, apparatus or what are they?
Yeah, it's basically like typing aids. And again, it's the easiest way to describe it is kind of like holding a pencil in each hand and just using the erasers to play.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, so basically I can do two moves at one time. I mean, I am able. I've got a trackball, so I have to like readjust my camera angle with it. But
Hmm.
in Star Wars: Old Republic, I really don't use my mouse much at all.
Oh wow. Well, I got to tell you, there's some big, bad respect, at least from me, with respect to that, JT. That's why I love
Although
you. You're
everybody's
so
going to have to look out now
adorable.
because with Xbox and Microsoft making the adapt, everybody better look out. So for people with limitations, we're coming for you.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm excited.
yes. Now, since have you seen like significant changes in the War Tour community since you began streaming?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's definitely ebb and flow. I mean, you had like a bunch of us that were from very beginning, and when the game's getting developed, everybody's so hyped about it. I mean, it's Star Wars for one, and we hadn't had much Star Wars stuff come out at all, and then we had like the prequels come out, and then this game was coming out, and I really think there was so much hype for it. And then of course it comes out, and then it was it was great from the beginning, and then it kind of slowed down just a little bit. And I think you have that where the initial people, some people drop off. And the thing about it right now is, I look around, and yeah, there's definitely some things that I think the leadership at BioWare may have missed the mark on with the game, and I definitely think there's always room for improvement. But I look around and see like the community, like I mean, for you guys here with your podcast and all the streamers that and that are all connected here, I definitely just think there's so much positivity for this game because people really, I mean, they like the game, and I think they want it to be successful. And I think that's where a lot of some of the frustration might be out, but is turn that frustration kind of some positivity. I think is the best way.
Yeah. Now, has there been, I guess, in this community, I'll be speaking primarily of Sword Tour, who has inspired you, and I mean, not only who, but how have they, and also have you inspired anybody?
Hmm. I saw this question. I was like trying to think about this. Uh, I'm not sure that I can just limit to one community member. Um, personally, for especially with my stream and getting it up off the ground, I have to thank a lot of my friends that kind of helped. And as you mentioned right before we went on, the unsung heroes, the mods, my mod, Texas Gemini, if you guys know her on the stream, Gem as we call her, she is amazing. And I think she doesn't get enough credit for putting up with me and helping me off the air. And also what she does as far as a gamer is really incredible, and things she's doing with her own stream. So, but like and again, like what you guys are doing here, I love the giveaway. I love the positive attitude that you guys have and everybody that you're connected with. I think that's really cool. As far as me inspiring other people, if I've done that, hey, that's great. I don't necessarily look at myself as being any more than just a guy that likes to play video games and having a great time doing it. So,
I'm sure that you've inspired a lot of people just today getting to know you. So I'm sure you're an inspiration to many because I knew it and you inspired me when I first met you. And that was literally when I first started streaming. So I'm sure you have. And hopefully you've inspired a lot of people in this chat, and I'm sure you have just by some of the comments. Now, is there anything that you feel for this community now? Is there anything that you can see like it could be better, like any improvements?
let's see. For this community, any better? Again, it would be like, don't ever let anybody tell you can't do. If you have, an idea for doing a podcast, like you guys have come across and just started a podcast, I think that's great. If you want to do a podcast, if you want to stream, if you want to just get out there and play a video game, do it. I mean, don't let anybody tell you can't do something. Everything work out that you try? No, but you never know. Your wild, crazy idea for a podcast stream or something might just be the next big thing. So just don't let anybody tell you can't do something.
Aw, this is true. This is true. Now, are there any other projects or events? I guess we covered that earlier, right? That you're doing
Yeah.
with the Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, I'm helping out. Yeah, with the Harry Potter book club, which I gotta give them a shout out. It's twitch.tv/Harry Potter book club. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working with that.
Can you
The
type that in?
Yeah, one second.
Also, Filter, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
Hmm. Any
He's still
questions I'd
sleeping.
like to ask?
He's still sleeping on the couch.
You talking about Good4Doog was poking me, so I moved.
Oh, he was poking you.
Yeah. So I just decided to move there.
Oh, he was starting to snore, so.
Well, there you go. I would have done the same thing. But yeah, is there any questions you'd like to elaborate on?
Nothing I can think of. I just draw a complete blank on everything there. So if I think of something, I'll definitely ask it. So I have no problem with that. But I just want to make sure, I want to say that, you're an inspiration because of the fact that you don't let your disability, kind of bring you down there. You always it seems like you have a upbeat, positive attitude. So that's definitely, refreshing for someone that, has a different outlook on life, especially after, what happened to you. So definitely, definitely mad respect to you on that part.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate
So I remember, so I was going to say I posted something there to make sure you guys know. I said you guys are two amazing people, and, you and Good4Doog. So I definitely want to make sure you guys get shouted out as much as possible. That everyone should go follow you and see what
thanks a lot.
content you do give. So
Yeah, I think it's such an amazing story, and I think it's great that Nami's, giving you a chance to share it with us today.
Oh yeah, totally. I have to say though, I get embarrassed. I don't mind talking about the game, or when people ask me to talk about myself, it's like, yeah, sure, okay, I guess.
Well, I'm just happy that you made it. I'm so glad you said
I know, right?
yes. Was gonna actually, Akila was supposed to be here, and we had to switch her because she didn't think that she had well enough service to maintain the Discord call. So I decided to pick someone who I thought would be a great counterpart with you, or not counterpart, a partner with you. So without further ado, let me have Filter bring in our next interviewee. And thank you so much, JT, for being here.
Oh no, thank you. I definitely appreciate you guys. Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that the person who was originally going to be on here today was concerned about her service, and I've been getting text messages this morning about various parts of our city having power issues. So it would be ironic if partway through this, I ended up getting disconnected because of power issues. But hopefully that's not the case. But it would just be funny if that ended up happening.
No, we don't want any power outages.
is this where I introduce Mr. Good4Doog?
Yes.
All right. Well, you asked in there if anybody had any questions for JT, so I'll just give a minute there if anybody did have anything. So, if anybody speak up now, or forever hold your peace if you want to go ahead and ask JT any questions there. So it looks like Sukasa was like, okay, because Nami's statement wasn't enough. Sukasa's like, now we're taking questions. So if there's anybody, I'm going to give a minute here that wants to ask Mr. JT any questions there.
Aw, Freddie says, no questions, only respect. That's what's great about this community.
I wanted to ask you if it wasn't covered, JT, was what do you plan on doing this year? I'm sorry if I didn't quite hear that clearly there. So what do you plan to do this year, whether it be SWTOR related or streaming in general? What's your plans for this year?
Well, number one definitely is getting healthy. So I get back gaming. I'm so jonesy. I mean, I'm able to do a few little turn-based games, but I'm jonesing for playing other games. So definitely want to get healthy, and hopefully by the very least about the 1st of February get back and do some more SWTOR. I want to get in, play the new story. That looks pretty good. I think that looks nice. I like where they're going with it. Hopefully I will be able to also, the influencers are going to be having a booth at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. I'm hopefully to get up to that, and hopefully during Star Wars Celebration we're going to get a reveal, I believe. That is my prediction, that we'll get a reveal on the expansion. So that is some of my big things I plan on doing this year. So definitely SWTOR is probably number one in playing some of those. And catching up on games that happened this last year. Holy cow, so many good games came out. So.
You thinking about getting the new game Anthem? Because I'm pumped for that game.
Actually, it looks pretty good. If I can find out whether I can, there's like Track IR, which I could actually use and to use for part of. If I could find out if that would work with Anthem, then I probably would be pretty sold on investing in that game. So.
Perfect there, because I think, let me see, because I was really hyped for Anthem. I've been reading up on the Wikipedia, trying to get everything taken care of there. I think Crispy had a question there for you, because she just got in here, so she said, I don't know if it was answered or not. What made him overcome his disability? What made you overcome your disability?
Overcome it? Well, it's kind of one of those things. I mean, you've kind of got, your choices, and it's just because somebody has a disability doesn't mean they can't still be a jerk or be upset, be depressed, or be really good or something like that. You kind of have to come about and make this. Now, am I always happy-go-lucky, positive? No. There are things that frustrate the heck out of me, like simple things like hooking up a monitor, which is so easy, but yet if I need help to do that, I got to wait for somebody to kind of help me hook it up or something like that. So things like that get frustrated. I think it's basically trying to make the most out of what you have and try to be as positive as you can. I mean, they told us like at rehab, basically there's approximately 10,000 things that a human can do as far as activities and hobbies and such like that. When you're disabled at a cervical level, basically that eliminates like maybe only 3,000 to 4,000. So you still have well over 7,000 to 6,000 things that you can still do with your life. So I think you just have to be positive and try to do the best you can. I mean, with everything you can do.
And hopefully that answers your question there, Crispy, about overcoming his disability. Because I definitely agree. I mean, you can't just be like, okay, it's it's not the end of your life. It's just something new to overcome and something for you to see about, being a positive outlook on.
Yeah, and when I was a peer counselor at the rehab hospital, there's definitely like I've had families like ask me like, well, how can we get our son or daughter to be able to do some of the things that you're doing now? And it's like, well, you don't want to push them. You want to like try to prop them up as best you can and help them out. But if they have to come about on their own time. Everybody has to make that choice for themselves. You want to be there for them, but you don't want to push them to the point that they don't want to do anything like.
And she did say thank you for answering.
Oh yeah, no problem. And duck sauce is correct. That is the big disabilities. Always look at the ability. So good job there, ducks.
Does anybody else have any questions there for JT before we go on to our next guest, Mr. Good4Doog? Forever speak or hold your peace. While Nami types in the chat for all the people gifting and donating. If there's nothing left, I'm going to go on to our next interviewee here, Mr. Good4Doog. If you want to, the spotlight is yours, the platform is yours, sir. Let us know who you are.
Hey, I'm Good4Doog, and I would just like to thank everybody for coming out today, and I'd just like to thank JT Gamer and his amazing resilience and his amazing story, and I'd just like to thank him for coming out today, and I just thank NamiGal and Infiltrator for giving me this opportunity. NamiGal gave me a shout yesterday and asked me to come out today. I started streaming most recently a couple months ago. I originally started streaming SOTAR in early 2017 and stopped streaming for a little while and recently came back after checking out the community, and it seemed really cool. Started checking out some of the streamers like NamiGal and Infiltrator, and just kind of lurking in some of the channels and checking out the community, and it seemed like a really cool place to be, and decided to give streaming another try.
And here you are, after all the lurks and all the gifted subs you got and everything like that. Here you are on our podcast, and I know I definitely definitely a good friend to me. I've been a good friend to everybody else here, so I just want to make sure we had interviewed you and see about what Good4Doog is all about. So one of my first questions is how long have you been playing SWTOR, and how did you find out about the game?
Well, I started playing SWTOR back at launch. So I had a friend, Nathan Plews, who worked at BioWare at the time. He started off in production, was an assistant producer on games like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and Baldur's Gate and some of the Mass Effect titles. And back then, I used to buy pretty much every BioWare title that came out of the gate pretty much as a way of supporting my friends. So I kind of got into BioWare games just because, it's like my friend works at BioWare. I'm just going to pretty much buy every single game that comes out in a way, just because my friend works there. But it turned out I liked every BioWare game that came out. So, when Baldur's game came out, I was like, hey, this is a great game. And we also, like one of the first MMOs that came out, and I'm not sure if a lot of people, it was Star Wars Galaxies, and that was a really fun MMO, and me, as well as most of my friends, including Nathan, played that game. So it was kind of a natural transition. We went from Star Wars Galaxies to World of Warcraft and played Vanilla WoW. So it was kind of a natural transition when Star Wars came out, the Old Republic, to transition to that as a group and play it together.
Awesome. I'm glad. We definitely love having you around. Love you streaming, and then definitely am glad that you wanted to play with us, and glad to hear that the community had brought you back. I just want to know that you started streaming in, you said, early 2017. What stopped you after that?
Well, I was working at the time as an IT manager. I did IT management for about 20 years. And the company, I was managing a department of IT professionals, and kind of some bad stuff happened. I had to shut down the department, and the company went into receivership, and I had a rough time with that. So basically, took a break from work and shut down my stream, and took a break from that at that point in time. And it's kind of taken me a while to get to the point where I've kind of felt like streaming again. So just the last couple months I've been like, maybe I should give this streaming thing a try again. So,
and how have you loved this streaming aspect now that you've back to it with streaming SWTOR? I know you've gotten a lot of support, especially from one Sir Galahad, who seems to not leave you alone there. He seems to be following you wherever you go. So how do you like it now?
I think I really spent a lot of time before coming back. I think I like to say for every hour streaming, I probably spend 2 or 3 hours in other people's channels, just kind of supporting other streamers and getting supporting other people. So I think I get as much joy from supporting other streamers as I get from streaming myself. And I get that same feeling from other streamers, and I think that's what's kind of made me feel like streaming again, and sort of given me that positive energy. And I think that is what I'm getting from streaming, more than just kind of going out and streaming. And I think in the case of Sir Galahad, I still go on and I stream, and I get the big goose egg at the top for some of my streams, and I'll be like, oh, there's no one on. But I'll just talk to myself, and I'll talk with Sir Galahad, and I'll say, streaming is one of these weird things where, it's one of the few times you can talk to yourself for 3 or 4 hours in public, and nobody thinks you're crazy. But he's been a really bright spot in the community for me, just because he's always so encouraging, And Cheryl Mercury's been another person who's been really encouraging too. She lurks in my stream a lot. I've got a chat bot, and it shows how long people are in your streams. And Sir Galahad and Cheryl Mercury, the number of hours they've spent in my stream is insane. It's there are two people who have been in my stream. The percentage of hours I've been streaming and the percentage of that time that they've been in my stream, I'm like, they're just so supportive. It's unreal. So
Glad you're definitely getting the support there. I know Nami and I try to make sure that we're in there as much as possible there. Also, when we stream, we want to shout you out, and definitely we'll shout out JTG as well. So I mean, we'll definitely make sure that people go and follow you. Like I said in my announcement, I want to make sure you guys are taking care of. You two are amazing individuals. Now, with that being said, there, I want to go back and relate back a little bit from the Star Wars for just a moment there. I know you said you like like every BioWare game that came out. What other games do you play? Do you play specifically BioWare related, or?
Well, I play all different types of games. I like city building games, like City of Skylines is another game I like.
I like that too.
Yeah, I like the ESO game, Elder Scrolls Online. I like World of Warcraft. A lot of MMOs are coming up. Just because I haven't really worked in the last couple of years, of trying to keep from playing too many games that I have to go out and buy. But so I play a lot of games that you can kind of go out and try for free. But Guild Wars 2 is another game that I've been playing a little bit recently. You play some kind of different online games and things. I try to play games that aren't physically too challenging. I know that if you go to the frequently asked questions, there's a section, and I mention that I have a neurological disorder, which is early onset Parkinson's, and it's kind of interesting because early onset was actually as a teenager, so I'm like 50 years old now, so it's definitely something I've had for a long time. So you notice the voice is kind of shaky and the trunk's shaky and the head kind of bounces around and stuff. So usually I try to do things, play games that, I like tab target types of games because, you don't have to, to have two finer motor skills and that kind of game.
Well, definitely, I'm glad you're enjoying other games besides this dual toward content there. I don't know if you play Diablo 3, I think that's something that I'd like to see about if other people are playing in the future to play together there, but I was also going to see about checking out the ESO series, so maybe you can help me out with that.
Yeah, I've only recently kind of started playing that a little bit, so I'm on the early stages of it, so maybe that's something we can kind of explore together.
Okay. Definitely there. Well, you're about to say something, Nani?
I was going to say I have both those games.
Woohoo!
So I'm down anytime. I have ESO as well as I have. Did you say Diablo, right?
Yeah,
Diablo 3. Yeah, I also have that.
Yeah, I played like the second Diablo, I think it was, and that was a pretty fun game. So then I played kind of like a Diablo, like a game similar to Diablo, which is Revenant, I think it was called. So it was kind of like a copycat game.
I never played that, but I was definitely seeing about D3, and if anybody wanted to do that, go on that together there. But I also want to see there now. Besides gaming, what else do you do with your free time?
One of the things I do that I'm really passionate about is I volunteer with a adult day program on Thursdays. So that's a program run by the Alberta Health Services that works with dementia patients. So that's one thing that I'm really excited to work with. Basically, it's a recreational program that helps seniors who are kind of in between day home and being permanently placed with long-term homes. So that's where they would actually not live in their home anymore, but get placed in long-term care. And the primary purpose of that is to provide recreational um, recreational opportunities for seniors so that their uh, sole care providers get a break during the day. And it's really awesome because the people that we work with are just amazing people, and they're so much fun to work with, and recreational programs are fun, and I enjoy working with it because it gives me something where I feel, useful, and it gives me, something rewarding to do with my time, and it's just awesome. If you get a chance to volunteer with those kind of programs, I would definitely recommend it. If you can volunteer, like I say, if you've got free time and want to go out and make a difference in your community, I would definitely suggest going out and volunteering. It makes a huge difference. So, and another thing I do is I don't work full time right now. I work casually with the local theater, do tech stuff for some of their shows. Not currently working in IT, but do some tech stuff with the local college theater. I volunteer doing some backstage stuff. When you do productions, I'll do backstage management, like prop stuff, things like that. I'm board of directors for the Peace Region Independent Media Arts Association. So we do like film productions. So we do like Frantic 48 film productions. Basically, teams get like 48 hours to produce films. You get like characters, line of dialogue, like a theme like horror, western, and stuff like that. And you've got 48 hours to produce a film. I was like, if we ended up with a whole bunch of extra time, I actually had a HTML web page I had here just in case you wanted to pull up a example of a 48-hour video to pull up. But yeah, so lots of different interest things. I think I posted a couple of pictures on Nami's Discord of some musical theater I used to do, and I recently did. Played Gus the Theater Cat in some shows, and all that stuff is with early onset Parkinson's, and I like to push myself as much as I can, and I've had some great opportunities, and doing different things, and I'm trying different things all the time, and trying to push myself and challenge myself, and just try kind of see what I can do.
Well, it definitely warms Nami's heart because of the amount of support and communities that she loves to support there, and I definitely love to hear about your community work there. I try and do some community work myself there, but I'm not as active as you guys are, which I am probably ashamed of doing there, but definitely appreciate the fact that you're willing to give back, with your time and, with what you do, so definitely appreciate that, so I got mad respect for that.
Well, I see your activeness. I see your activity level within this community. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
True,
I
true.
try there.
True. But except for he's like putting a fire on top of me. What is that?
That's right.
Filter.
That's right. I don't think Smokey the Bear would approve.
I know. But yes, he does. Filter does a lot for this community, which is why I could not have picked a better partner with regard to things that I'd like to get done this year.
Well, I'm definitely glad that you approve of me burning stuff, so thank you for that.
I'm not sure fire and alcohol is a good idea, but
now I know you have your story there, and I explained, briefly about it. How many hours would you say that you can play a sword tour before it, becomes a little bit of an issue there for
I kind of start pretty much any game once I start getting kind of the 2 to 3 hour range of any activity is when I start getting a little shaky, and it's pretty much anything that I have to mentally focus on for more than 2 or 3 hours is where the brain gets a little tired and I start getting pretty shaky. Physically, anything if I have to physically do anything that ex- exerts myself too long, it's probably half an hour or something, and then it gets to be too much, and then things like swallowing and stuff get to be an issue. But game playing, I could probably go a few hours, and then I need to start pulling back a bit. So.
Okay, well, that's understandable there. It was a question of mine just because I know that, you stream for a bit, then you play for a bit, and you get off, and then you come back later on. So I just wanted to see about, how long you actually can go for before it eventually becomes a little bit
Yeah, just basically sort of the magnitude of the tremor increases over time.
of
And I am taking medication, which has helped a lot, but there's side effects to the medication, so you don't want to get kind of too crazy. So you want to pace yourself and listen to the doctors and all that good stuff.
All right, well, understandable there. Well, glad you can stick on when you can. When you can't, it's understandable there. We'll miss you. Now, I wanted to ask you there, when playing SWTOR, just in general there, what would you say is your favorite activity? Do you like operations? Do you just like doing story, flashpoints? Like, what would you say, like, that suits you?
Well, I'd say recently some of the stuff that I've been doing with you guys is probably my favorite stuff to do. When I first started playing the game, I had a group of people to play with, and it was a lot of fun. And when I came back most recently, I was kind of focused on storyline just because, I didn't really have the guys I originally came to Star Wars with, and I think, if you're gonna play an MMO, you should probably be playing with other players, because otherwise, why wouldn't you be playing just a single player RPG? But because from a game feature standpoint, I think far and above, you're going to get the best bang for your buck for an RPG rather than an MMO. But
Exactly.
if you're going to play an MMO, you should be playing for the massive multiplayer aspect of it. So I definitely think some of the multiplayer parts of the most fun I've had, and definitely I think the last week or so playing with you guys has been the most fun I've had, whether it's flashpoints or operations. And I think you guys have been very accommodating, just understanding that, I'm probably not going to be doing what is the NIM mode or whatever they call it, kind of content, and I'm fine with that. And if it just means that I'll just be doing some flashpoint stuff that's maybe master mode as much as I do, and maybe storyline ops or whatever is what I'm going to be playing, then that's fine too. So as long as I'm hanging out with people and just doing multiplayer stuff, I think I'll be happy with that.
And I'd love to do some, content with you, whether it be just story mode operations, flashpoints, or dailies, or it doesn't matter to me, because I think we can all agree at some point in time that playing single player, on a MMO is just, it gets very tiresome and gets very boring. So I'm just trying to make sure I play with everybody in general. That way we all have fun rather than just getting burnt out and just splitting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm down to getting a 16-man op again. I know with uh, our community streamer event that we had a few weeks ago, it was great going on 3 different servers and having a full team of 16. That was some good time. So I am down to doing that again. I know Filter would be as well because he loves ops and whatnot. So I know just a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? Maybe even I think it was yesterday, right? Uh, we took out Freddie G as well as yourself, and ran three of the master flashpoints, and we did well. I mean, like I said, just because you guys died, it wasn't because of me, the healer's fault. You guys just didn't kill it fast enough,
That's right.
and the tank wasn't grabbing the aggro off you guys,
Right.
so it was not the healer's fault this time. No, I'm just kidding. It was my fault, but anyways.
Well, and
Uh,
I was only mid-50s or something at the time, so.
No, no, it's fine. It's the healer's fault. It's always the healer's fault. But yeah, anyways. But yes, I'm totally down to go out and do stuff like that with you. And I know Filter's very big on that. And if anybody wants to join us, I know we can separate in multiple groups and whatnot, and do it, or do one big group thing. And so when you get back in there, Access, UJT, you're on ready check. We'll have you do the ready check for us.
Ha,
That's
ha.
right. I can only separate into one group, though, so.
Yeah, but we'll flip coins. Who gets you? I'll just have to beat up Filter and say, no, Doogie's with me. You got it?
No,
Oh my gosh.
I don't got it.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I don't know
There's
what
some
to say.
there's some weird stuff going on with Filter there.
Wait, duh. That's always with Filter. Filter's like the 8-year-old. Man, I'm the one that's like more like the mom figure. Like, can you not, please? But
Ah!
but he and Mr.
But
Frosty.
and we have a good time. So anybody who wants to join us, we always have a good time. So it's a good time with us. So now I wanted to ask you, Good4Doog, and coming with this new year, I wanted to ask you, what are your goals? You know, what do you plan? What do you want to do? Anything with this game specifically? Just what is your goals for this?
I think just keep streaming, just keep growing within the community, and just keep helping the community to grow in general, and just keep trying to encourage other streamers as well. I don't have any specific goals. I kind of have a couple of ideas for events. I'm just not really sure if they're technically feasible, because they would kind of be semi role playing ideas, but I'll have to see once I flesh them out. I don't want to say too much until I get them figured out, but
Actually, my co-leader to both the guilds also RPs and has like a group and whatnot. So, yeah, maybe you can toss some ideas around with him, and he can give you some suggestions. He doesn't stream or any
yeah.
of that sort of stuff, but you know, maybe he can help in a little bit. Respect.
LPRP.
Well, I don't know. Give you maybe some ideas too if you're looking for some. I don't know. I don't RP. I'm not saying there's anything bad about it, so don't take it that way. I just don't. My life
Yeah.
already is so filled with stuff that I think I'm living in RP.
Yeah. Well, it might not be it's more of a story kind of idea than an RP idea, but
My next question I wanted
to
to.
looking all cool.
I try to be. It is what it is. I just wanted to ask you there. I know you said you were streaming. You were streaming in early 2017, and I don't know how the community was then. But in coming back, you obviously some different changes with the community. Can you let us know, like, how was the community then for you when you started streaming in 2017 compared to what it is now?
Well, like I said, this time I spent kind of a couple of months getting to know the community. In 2017, and as I didn't really know that there was one, so I guess. But like I said, this time I kind of spent a couple of months kind of getting to know everybody, and before I even started streaming, like I think I started streaming, and then in Nami's channel, it was like, "Oh, Duke, you stream?" And then so it was kind of like, oh, okay. But so I kind of started streaming almost under the radar. But in 2017, I don't think I had any followers other than a couple of friends, and I didn't stream under Good4Doog. I streamed under Tremors. So I kind of started fresh this time and got to know the community and worked from within the community, I guess, sort of. But I kind of wanted to see, oh, okay, yeah, there's lots of friendly people in the community, but I think in 2017 I didn't get a sense of the community, whereas this time I was like, oh, okay, there's NamiGal and there's uh, Lady Ran and there's all these other people out there who are streaming, but it seemed a lot different in 2017. But I think there's a lot more sense of everybody helping each other out and everybody encouraging each other. But in 2017, I think as well, I might have been trying to do it, just kind of like, oh, okay, let's just go stream and see what happens. And I don't remember anyone ever dropping into my channel or anything and saying hi. But I don't, I think even in 2017, I don't really think I understood how Twitch worked or how to do anything, or it was just kind of like, oh, okay, let's just stream. So.
Well, definitely glad you came back to the game here. Definitely glad you did your research and you came back and you spoke with us there, because I know we're trying to make it a better community in general there. So definitely want being a part of the community and making sure because I mean you're a good guy to be around. I don't think anybody here can say one bad thing about you, besides the fact that maybe you'd give probably the earthquake in San Francisco a run for its money.
That's right. And
Just
the dancing moves, yeah, and the dancing moves, I don't know.
Oh man, we're not playing any music. We should play some music there.
That's a lot like my real dancing.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
We found out a little bit more about Doogie. He knows how to shake his hips too. Oh, wait. Okay, that sounded kind of bad. But yeah, you know what I mean.
That's right.
Well, look, Filter knows how to too. And if JT here, JT would be too.
Now, what would you say would it be?
Ready check. Huh? Oh, go ahead.
Now, what would you say, Good4Doog, what would you say would be your proudest accomplishment in the game there? If you have, if you have done any so far, just in general, if you want to share that.
I don't know that there's a lot of things that I'd say as far as video games that I would say I have a proud accomplishment in a video game, but I think, I'm getting, as far as accomplishments, I'm getting quite happy as far as what I'm accomplishing within the community, the bonds and the friendships that I'm creating within the SOTOR community, I'm quite happy with. So, I think that would be the closest thing I would say as far as what I'm proud of within SOTOR. But it's not really within the game, it's within this SOTOR community, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no, that totally makes sense. I just want to make sure, we found out, what your proudest moment is or what your proudest accomplishment is, and that's definitely a good accomplishment to have. Now, I wanted to ask you just this one final question there, just because I'm full of questions. I like to know anything and everything about here. But is there any projects that you want to eventually do, or any events you want to personally host there, or potentially, just be a part of in general? Anything you'd like to do that maybe we can just make it a set date reality?
Not currently. I don't have any set projects I want to do. I've been helping a couple of people with their projects, and I think just continuing to help others with theirs. I think if I get a eureka moment and come up with a project that I'm really excited about, I'll definitely reach out to people and ask for help with those. Right now, just like I said, just kind of trying to pace myself, just because I have to be a little bit careful with 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 my brain and not overdoing things and trying to keep the streams to as a certain number of hours and keep from trying to do too much so that don't get too shaky and make sure I can still sleep and swallow do make sure the non-voluntary stuff keeps work or the the automatic body systems keep working. But yeah, it's I'd like to keep helping with stuff that I can help with and doing what I can to keep the community growing and help with events where I can and just try to be a positive influence and where I can.
Awesome, man. Well, you definitely are a influence in this community here, so we definitely appreciate you not only sharing something about yourself, but also sharing with the community there. So I definitely want to thank you for coming on here and being a part of this here. And I will say this, so Sukasa thinks I'm not picking on him. If there's any questions that anybody wants to go ahead and ask Good4Doog, you're more than welcome to. So I'm letting it be known right now. And obviously I can put in there and be like, hey, any questions, we're good to go. But Sukasa's already got me beat, so.
Tsukasa. Sounds like Mufasa.
So Crispy said here, if you don't see it, if you had the chance, would you keep Parkinson's disease or would you get rid of
it? Get rid of it.
I was like, ooh, I hope he answers what I'm about to answer. I was like, do it, answer right. No.
Yeah, absolutely get rid of it for sure. It affects, I would love to go back to singing and doing the musicals and things that I used to do. Hold a glass of water and eat and use utensils and all that kind of fun stuff. Love to get rid of it, but it is what it is, and I don't actually remember not having it. So,
how long has it been, Doogie? I'm sorry, you might have answered that already.
The symptoms started showing up when I was a teenager. So.
Oh. Okay, so.
Then they called it essential tremor, but then it got switched to Parkinson's and that.
Okay. And I'm sorry, JT. Sorry, this is probably a duplicate or repetitive question. I'm sorry. At what age did you have your injury again?
23.
You were 23?
Yep.
Oh my God. Wow.
By the way, I just have to say, dude, you are the man. You are awesome, man.
So are you, man.
Yeah. Oh, Doogie, JT actually asked, what is your favorite Flashpoint or op so far?
I still like the early ones. I don't know that I have a favorite, but I think it's just because it's the first ones. But I still like, Black Talon and Essels are still some of my favorites. So, and I think it's just because, I used to raid Vanilla WoW, and I don't know how many times I ran like Molten Core and stuff. So we as a guild came out of those kind of runs, and we came into this game, and I still remember coming into this game, and it was like, what? And it was such a breath of fresh air to actually have these little episodes to come into, because it was just such a breath of fresh air to have some story to play. And we were so, like, we ground our way through Molten Core through Vanilla for months and months and months, and with our zero-sum loot tables and rules, because you had 40 people you had to distribute loot to, and it wasn't the same 40 people every time, and just coming in, and it was such a breath of fresh air that I think those couple of flashpoints made a real impression on me, and I think that's why they're kind of still the same. They've left that lasting impression on me.
I really like Blacktown. I was about to say Blacktown just because the simple fact of the matter is it's such an easy flashpoint, but I think the majority of it makes up in my conversations. So, I mean, when I first did it, I was like, oh, the conversation's nice, but then when you have people saying spacebar, 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 and I'm like, okay, I don't get to enjoy the conversation. That's why when I did it in story mode, I was like, yeah, I'll just listen to all the conversation there, but I feel like half of it's conversation and half of it's actually the battle.
Well, and it's funny because it's interesting how it's gone that way, that in a way people play Star Wars The Old Republic for the storyline, but it gets to the point where you're space barring through the part of the game that you came to play. So
Doesn't make any sense.
There is a question from Freddie. Freddie is also a fellow streamer, and he was with us yesterday doing the Master Flashpoints. He has a question. He says he knows you have children, so what kind of little critters, kids, make up your family?
I have, the oldest is my daughter, and she is, I have to change. I get confused this time of year because their birthdays are all in December and January, but my oldest is 16 and she's turning 17 too, and she is amazing. And my youngest two boys, they are 15 and the youngest is just turned 13 today.
Oh, wow.
Yes, his youngest is turning 13 today. There are so many people with their birthdays today. I know Vex's birthday, he was in here. I don't know if he's still in here. His birthday's today. And there's a couple others. What's his name? Bansand's birthday's today. So.
Wow, happy birthday.
Yes. So that is a good thing. Really quick question. JT, so what is your favorite op and or Flashpoint, or both?
I'd say Flashpoint. I'm kind of like with Duke. I like the early ones. I know everybody's like spacebar, but I think they were the first ones, and it seems like they took the most time with those and really got them done well, as far as having conversation, story in them, but also the combat in them, as well as the number of enemies and stuff like that. So I really like them.
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, go.
No, I like that you mentioned this. I think the spacing for the enemies and stuff was good too.
Yeah. And Operation, I haven't played it that much, but I will have to say I like Temple Sacrifice. Now I don't play it on the hardest mode or anything like that, but I love the fact of the story, and I just love the difficulty of that even on story mode. So.
Great. Does anybody else have any questions for either of our interviewees today?
Feet now, forever hold your peace.
Oh, there you go. You like saying that. I see that we went over an hour a little bit, but it's just because these two guys are so awesome. They're big inspirations to me. I mean, I met JT a long time ago, like way in the beginning. I had just started streaming. I knew that I wanted to be a charity streamer, so I don't even know how I met up with you, JT. Do you?
Yeah, I was watching you guys go through you were doing one of your like training ops or something like that story.
Oh,
And then I contacted you through Twitch on that night, and then got in touch with like your guild and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then you invited. So my imp guild over here on Starforge is called Unholy Goldfish. It will be changed.
Yeah.
We're taking name changes. But I remember you invited me to yours on Setil, which was Unholy Alliance. So I was like, yay! That's great. I know half the name. I won't forget. So, yeah, that was good. I'm no longer in there anymore. But, yeah, it was an Unholy Alliance. But I don't really play Setil as much currently, I want to say.
By the way, we are changing the guild name from Unholy Goldfish to Holy Gold.
Holy.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds very imp-like. Anyways, I want to say thank you for you guys, for both of you guys, for stopping in and taking the time out of your busy day. I'm so sorry, Doogie, that your youngest son's birthday is today and you're spending time over here away from him. But I'm sure you're going to have a blast.
Oh yeah, I'm
What
gonna spend the rest of the day with him. So
is he the one that does Minecraft?
he is, and he wants to stream, and he just turned 13. So guess what? So he's now old enough that he can do the agreements or whatever. You have to be 13. So
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
okay.
So I told
Future
him he has
streamer.
to think of it. Yeah. So I told him he has to think of a name first. So I'm
Awesome.
like,
You
you
are
think
such a
of it.
you're such a cool dad.
So I told him you have to think of a name, and I have to moderate everything you do. So
Oh my. That's
just so I
good.
can just so I can block anything that someone might say or whatever, right?
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely. And also, if he really does like Minecraft and he's into it, definitely have him check out Cease because I know Cease is big on Minecraft
yeah.
as well. So yay! Well, thank you both for being here. Filter, is there anything else you want to say to the viewers or the interviewees
Oh, the viewers?
or the
Oh, I
interviewees?
haven't. Oh, Crispy said, she said, oh, they didn't ask my second question. Oh, well, it's up a little more.
Oh, she wanted to know: does anybody else in your family have Parkinson's?
There's a history of disorders in the family, so they weren't officially diagnosed as Parkinson's though. So, but there's like, oh, Uncle so and so was shaky too, or whatever. So, but they weren't officially diagnosed with Parkinson's. So, even the Parkinson's diagnosis, like one doctor say, oh, you have essential tremor, and another doctor will say, yeah, Parkinson's. So, they're brain doctors. What do they know?
They're brain doctors. What do they know? Oh my goodness. So is there any other questions that you may have, Filter, for the viewers, or anything you'd like to say to the viewers?
I
Um,
was like, I have to agree with Mr. Frosty. I was like, wait, we have viewers?
oh my God, really? You make it sound like I am like the worst streamer in the world. Wow. Wow, wow,
Hey,
wow.
I don't want to mention this because I might, leave afterwards, but I think, you know what he said the other day?
No, no, don't you even. No, 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 no. If you do, I swear, I'm bringing in another partner. No, 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 no. Anyways, and I saw you put that earlier in the chat, mister. I'm just saying. And I tried really hard because you did it on purpose since I was in the middle of interviewing JT, so shame on you. But
Did
I
you mute
held
yourself?
my composure. See, as the
Oh,
professional that I am, it's a funny joke. So it's not. It has not. Yeah, it's a funny joke. It has nothing whatsoever to do with this stream or it's. Okay, I gotta mute filter. Filter is gonna be kicked out of this call. Anyways, I want to say stop it, filter.
It was a little
It was. Oh my god! I will have to tell you guys later. I will have to tell you later in another stream what that this is all about, but I just can't today because I will lose it.
well,
I will legit lose it in
it
the middle.
sounds good.
It
It
does
is
sound
very,
good.
very funny. I will leave it. I will leave it to another day. But I want to. Oh God! See now you broke me in the middle of our
I will
podcast.
have to say that's a great tease for your next episode.
There
Making
you
her
go.
wait for the
I will say that our next two guests have already been designated. It's actually going to be the man that JT referred me over to. His name is Desaris. Can we get a shout out for him? Actually, he will
oh,
be
the
here
Ferris is
next Sunday. I'll do the shout out just in case. There we go. And also, I have with me, and if you guys don't know, wonderful female streamer that I love, Akila. So both of them are going to be here next week, and Akila loves Desi. I mean, stop it, filter right now. Stop it. Contain yourself or you're in the corner. So both of them are going to be with us next week. So I'm very, very excited to have them on as well. But I gotta tell you, I was very, very excited to having you two guys here. I just know that I'm inspired by you guys, and I just wanted the world, well, not the world, I guess. Well, whoever's in this stream, I guess, know what an inspiration you are to all of us. And so thank you for taking your time off on Sunday to doing whatever you guys were going to do, fun stuff, to spend time with Filter and I, even though he's being like an 8-year-old impatient little kid somewhere. Yes.
Oh, definitely good time.
Yeah, good times, yes. But anyways, what I like to say out to whoever is out there, if there's anybody who needs to get their affiliate status, whether it's you need the follows, whether you need to get the viewership, please let me know right now. Say something in chat because I am more than happy to raid you. We'll get you the follows, hopefully, as well as getting you the viewers. I'm very big on supporting the community. It doesn't matter where it is. And hoping and helping that they make affiliate ASAP. That means more people on the SWTOR directory. So, yes. Is there anybody? Oh, I think you need to just let Infiltration get his laugh out. He's going to explode. Yeah.
And I'd just like to thank you again, NamiGal and Infiltrator 10, for hosting this event and for inviting me. That was very kind.
No, my pleasure. Definitely the pleasure was all mine. And JT as well. I have not spoken to him in forever. So I'm so glad to have the opportunity to talk to you again.
Yeah, I definitely want to thank you. Second what Good4Doog said. Definitely thank you guys both for and appreciate meeting Doog and everybody else in chat. So good times. Thank you very much.
Yes, and I'm going to go do a really quick shout out for both you guys. Please, you guys, if you want to... Hold on one moment. Let me get Doogie's Good4Doog. Okay, there we go. If you guys can go over there and give them a follow, I would much appreciate it. These are two wonderful men. A big inspiration for me. Geez, they make me look really bad as a player, though, now. I just realized. They're much better players.
I make you really bad.
No, you are just a menace. I don't care about your play skills. You're like a little kid. You can't even sit straight. So, yes, definitely go give them a follow. I'd really appreciate it. So that way you can see when they're going live and you can stop in and say hi to them. I am waiting for JT to get back because he's going to do an op with me and he's going to have the ready check button. And we're going to be like, JT, do a ready check, please. For some of you guys who don't know, his tune's name is called Ready Check. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So, yes, he will be handling all the ready checks when we're running stuff together, whether it be ops or flashpoints. But anyways, thank you all for being here. If there's anybody who wants to stream, I am more than happy to go ahead and give you a raid, so that you can get the follows and hopefully get to affiliate status if you're not already there. If not, I am going to steady check. If not, I am going to go ahead and take a peek. And what I like to do, as some of you guys already know, is I like to go to the SWTOR directory and I'm going to go see who do we have going right now. And how about this? How about we go raid this person and everybody just say hi from Filter and Nami. Now, I don't see anybody that I really know, though. Does anybody have a suggestion?
Why don't you raid your friend SK Lily?
No.
Now I have to go hop on so I can be part of the raid.
Look at that list.
I know. I
What a
love
very
seeing all that
barren
list.
list.
The thing is, I just don't know. Actually, I know what I'm going to do. I normally would not do this, but I'm going to do it for the main fact, and here's the reason.
Wait. Lady Rand has an idea right there. Look at that. JJ.
Oh, okay. Well, before I go and do anything, I want to tell you guys if there's anybody here that is interested in a 1v1 or 2v2 dueling tournament. I know one of my fellow streamers, Dermoth, is doing a tournament on February 16th and 17th. The tournament's going to be held on Darth Malgus, but if you are interested at all for the dueling tournaments, that's the man to see. He's in my Discord, so you're more than welcome to send him a little message and try to get all the information as far as sign-ups and all that sort of stuff. And letting him know if you're going to go do a 2v2 or you're just interested in the 1v1s. But you can find that information under announcements in my Discord. Also, I'd like to mention that my partner went and did a very heartfelt post. Not even a post, late last night, when he got off the Star Wars. And if you guys have not read that yet, please get over and read it. It's going to be above, just scroll up. I put in the announcement for Dermoth for his event, but scroll up and read that. And definitely send him a reply if you want to. But anyways, okay, so what are we seeing here? The one they call JJ. Okay, let's go over here. Let's get over there to JJ. Let's see, where's JJ? So if you guys don't mind, if you...
That one just went live too.
Who's JJ?
JJ the jet plane.
Wait, where is it?
I don't know.
Oh.
JJ. JJ the jet plane's usually flying, so you can't really see him.
Oh my gosh. Wait, which one is that? Let's see. What does they say?
The one they call JJ.
Oh, Neeb Gaming. Stop it! Oh my god. Oh my god.
I thought that was pretty obvious. I thought it was the one they called JJ.
Yeah, that is his name.
Now he's like, who's that?
Oh, the one they call JJ. Oh my god. Oh my god, the one they call JJ. Oh my god, I am so sorry. I was looking for JJ. I wasn't looking for the one they call JJ. I just looked for a J. I'm sorry. I still have coffee in my cup. That's what I'm blaming. I'm sorry. Okay, let's get over there. And you guys, thank you for the suggestion, Lady Rand. I'm gonna go ahead and get over there. Can everybody say hi from Filter and Nami? And because, you know, my partner is a slacker with regard to emotes, we can't spam his. So let's spam mine. So anyways, I am going to go ahead and pull his up and we will go raid him. And thank you all for being here. Thank you for the donations, the follows, and the gifted subs. Thank you so much. Wait, what's his name? Oh, the one they call... The one they call JJ. There you go.
This is gonna be like a clip right here.
The one they call JJ. Okay, let's go. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. What can I say? I was looking for JJ, man. I wasn't looking for the one they call JJ.
Rooney.
Let's go. Thank you, guys.